I found out my husband was cheating because he accidentally sent the wrong message to the wrong person. That person just happened to be me. My husband Mark and I had been married for 6 years. Nothing about our relationship seemed unusual. We both worked full-time, split the bills, and spent most evenings watching Netflix or arguing about what to eat for dinner. It wasn't a perfect marriage, but I believed it was a stable one. At least, that's what I thought. Looking back now, the signs were probably there. Mark started going to the gym more often. He began dressing nicer for work. And he suddenly cared a lot about keeping his phone face down on the table. But when you trust someone, you don't immediately assume the worst. You assume normal explanations. Work stress. New routines. Maybe he was just trying to improve himself. That's what I told myself. Then one night everything changed. I was sitting on the couch scrolling through my phone when I received a text from Mark. Which was weird. Because Mark was sitting in the kitchen, only about 10 feet away from me. The message read, "Last night was incredible. I can't stop thinking about you." At first I thought it was a joke. I looked toward the kitchen and laughed. "Very funny," I said. But Mark didn't laugh. Instead, I heard a chair scrape against the floor. When I looked up, he was already walking toward the living room. And his face had completely lost color. "Did you just text me?" I asked. He didn't answer immediately. That silence told me everything. My stomach dropped. Then his phone buzzed again. Another message appeared on my phone. "I wish I could wake up next to you again." This time there was no confusion. No misunderstanding. Just a horrible, quiet realization spreading through my chest. I slowly looked up at him. "Who were you trying to send that to?" I asked. Mark opened his mouth. Then closed it again. For the first time in 6 years, my husband looked like a complete stranger. Finally he whispered, "I didn't mean to send that to you." That might have been the worst possible thing he could say. Because it meant the message was real. Just not meant for me. I nodded slowly. "Okay," I said. Then I stood up and walked past him toward the bedroom. He followed behind me immediately. "Wait, please let me explain." But I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just started packing a small bag. That's when he panicked. "It didn't mean anything," he said quickly. "It was just a mistake." I turned around. "A mistake?" I asked. "Yes," he said desperately. "It didn't mean anything." I stared at him for a moment. Then I picked up my phone and read his message out loud. "Last night was incredible. I can't stop thinking about you." I looked back at him. "That doesn't sound like a mistake," I said. "That sounds like a memory." He didn't say anything. Which confirmed exactly what I already knew. There was someone else. And there had been for a while. Mark tried talking for the next 20 minutes. Excuses. Apologies. Promises. But honestly, I stopped listening after the first few sentences. Not because I didn't care. But because in that moment something inside me had already switched off. When trust breaks like that, it's strange. You don't always explode. Sometimes you just go quiet. When I finished packing my bag, I walked toward the front door. Mark followed me again. "Please don't leave," he said. "Can we at least talk about this?" I stopped at the door. Then I turned around and looked at him. "You're right," I said. His face filled with hope. "We should talk." For a second he thought things might actually be okay. Then I added one more sentence. "Just not as husband and wife." The hope disappeared instantly. I opened the door and stepped outside. Behind me I heard him say my name one last time. But I kept walking. Because the truth is, I didn't find out my husband was cheating that night. I found out the moment he sent that message. What happened after that was just the moment I realized our marriage had already ended.